Hello there. Oh, I can still. Oh, 1 second. I can still hear myself. Hello there, and welcome to another race here in Delta T Racing. It's the first race of the season around Brazil, which is promising to be a very great race. I don't even know which race I have put in the title. Hopefully that is going to get changed soon. If I'm not mistaken, I put Miami, but it could also be that I put Brazil because we are racing in Brazil tonight. It's Season 12, Division 1, Round 1 here in Delta T Racing. We've got plenty of people on the starting grid. 19 to be exact, with plenty of new drivers here in Division 1 as well. We, for example, have Grelis all the way in P19 racing for Alpine. He is going to be a new driver together with the Haas driver in P15, Berserk, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, sir. Apart from that, we don't really see too many new names. Maybe a little Mikey in P7, the Aston Martin driver, has decided to pair up with Waza in P9 as well. We've got plenty of new teams, but also a couple of drivers who decided to go with each other again. For example, Reliot and Gunnar, who decided to form a team again. We have got the Mercedes, if I'm not mistaken, Hayward and Brandon, who decided to race for Mercedes again as a duo. We have got Miyagi and Berserk, who obviously is a new team. Miyagi was in the Aston Martin last season together with, I'll have to think about that real quick. I can't really quite think of the name instantly, so we'll have to wait on a confirmation of that. But apart from that, we have got a Barry Bogarovsky once again in the lobby together with Nellboy. And if I'm not mistaken, Nellboy wasn't a racer in Division 1 last season. If I'm not mistaken, he was of Division 2. So hopefully we are going to be seeing him doing some spectacular stuff here in Division 1 tonight. As Brazil is obviously a great race to start the race on, the season on. Because it's such a good overtaking opportunity track, and you know, you've got plenty of runaway room. There is a little bit of grass, not too many walls like Saudi Arabia or any other track with lots of walls. It kind of reminds me of a slow kind of good overtaking opportunity Qatar race, where there's not a lot of runaway room. I mean, there is a lot of runaway room. There isn't too many walls around the outside, and it's just a good track to have races on. You've got a good, decent, long straight here coming around the last corner, which we're currently focusing on Hayward as he's coming around that last straight. DRS wide open, as this will be a very exciting finish whenever somebody comes around the last corner side by side with somebody else. So let's see whether that situation is going to happen, as we might want to have a quick look with somebody else here, which is going to be Honey Badger, still on an out lap. He's currently coming into the pits. He's going to be in the comms box with us later. Honey Badger, I know you can hear me. Just drop in whenever you can, as he retired from the session. He is going to be using his Joker for tonight, as you might not be too familiar with that yet. The Joker will be used by drivers who are not going to be qualifying, but therefore they will be starting last, but their points will be counted double during the actual race if they do finish in the points. And if I'm not mistaken, I can hear Mr. Honey Badger's microphone turning on. Welcome, Honey.
Yeah, hi everyone.
How are you doing, buddy?
Hey, you guys are fine? Yeah, I'm fine. Can't wait for the race to start.
A bit nervous about the race, or not really?
Not really.
Fair enough.
Just starting point and then I'm gonna push till the end.
What are your expectations going into a season 12? I mean, it's a long season. You had a pretty decent result last season. Well, wait, weren't you the teammate of Mr. Miyagi? You were, right? You were in the Aston Martin last season, no?
No, well, I was a reserve. I didn't really was a full-time driver, but yeah. Yeah, I did fine actually a couple of races, but there were many mistakes last season. So let's hop onto this season and do some more.
Going into a race like Brazil, what are your expectations? Do you want to be on a podium, maybe a top 10 finish? What is your thought process?
Surviving first lap first. Surviving first lap would be amazing first, and then a top 6-7 finish is on the cards.
Okay, so I do understand you are a full-time driver now, right?
Yep.
And are you happy with your teammate? It's Nexton, currently in P4, 18.4. Do you guys aim for a championship title, or is that a little bit too much out of reach?
I mean, the teamwork with Nexon should be great this year. I've already talked with him. Seems like a good guy, and yeah, we can aim for highs this year.
Fair enough. Who do you consider your biggest rival here? Not necessarily tonight, but throughout the whole season, team-wise, driver-wise.
Yeah. I feel like the Mercedes guys and the Ferrari guys are gonna be strong enough. We're gonna have to look into them, and like a P4 in the construction or even P3 is possible.
Okay,
Top three for us as a team.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you are a very good duo. Nexton managed to get some decent results, a little bit inconsistency last season, but it still managed to get into the top 5 regularly. And then you, of course, I mean, you're now a full-time driver. You're going to be scoring more points than last season because you're going to be here possibly every week. But then obviously now putting in your Joker already in the first race of the season, what is the thought process behind that? Because not many people have done that.
Yeah. I do expect chaos on the first lap, and it's the first race of the season, so I just went with it. That's what I thought.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, who do you think is going to crash tonight? That's a risky question, isn't it?
Especially in the middle, guys. So gonna have to keep an eye on the top 10 and surely 10 to 15, those guys there.
100%. I mean, Nelboy, a new driver in Division 1 tonight. What are you expecting from him tonight?
I think I've raced Netboy here. He was really fast in the previous season, so a top 5 by him is possible, to be honest. Yep.
Fair enough. Well, I wish you good luck here tonight in Brazil. Obviously, we're gonna bring you on screen plenty of times because you're starting from the back of the grid. Nelboy, who just retired from the session, he's gonna be using his Joker as well, possibly. But yeah, I mean, good luck. I wish you all the best, and maybe see you later this season.
Yep, appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Yep, bye.
Well, as we're currently still 10 minutes into this qualifying, plenty of people have already come across the finish line to put a decent lap on the board. We do tend to see some close times here in the top 4. Hayward currently on pole position with a 1.8.1. Grelius in P2 with a 1.8.2. And really closely behind with 5 thousandths of a second. Brandon not too far behind either with about 3 hundredths of a second, and then we've got Nexton in P5 followed by Magic Poop Cannon closely behind. Well, looking from P1 all the way to P8, we've only got 4 tenths in between those drivers, so hopefully that is going to be an amazing battle, but that also could indicate that the drivers are going to be racing a little bit more aggressively towards the beginning of the race because they want to get the best positions at the earlier stage of the race. Strategy-wise, we are thinking about a medium-hard or a hard-medium strategy. I don't think the soft tires are a good idea around a race like Brazil, mainly because the high temperatures, the track will get heated really quickly, and your tires will degrade really fast. So hopefully nobody is going to go onto the soft tires here tonight. Obviously, for a qualifying, it's great because your tires will be fast, your car will be fast, but I mean, obviously they won't degrade as fast. Or at least as fast, but you won't be running 20 laps on the soft tires, obviously, during a qualifying session, unless you're really optimistic. Lil Mikey now starting his qualifying lap. That's going to be his first one in Division 1 here as he comes down the first DRS straight. Coming out of turn 3, a really tricky corner section there into turn 4. Hard braking zone to the left. You want to touch that curb on the inside, touching the curb on the exit as well. And it seems like Lil Mikey definitely has got his first sector nailed there. Heading into sector 2, turn 6 and 7 really tricky. Then you've got turn 8, a hard right turn. And then we've got a fast left-hander straight away. You want to touch that curb on the inside to have a good exit coming out of turn 9 into turn 10. A little luck up from the driver ahead. We can see the smoke coming out of their tires. Heading into turn 11, and then we've got turn 12 coming right up. Fast left-hander. You do want to touch the curb on the inside, as apparently Lil Mikey decides to not go for that curb down the inside. And now we're coming around turn 13. Turn 14 coming right up, and then we've got that little DRS straight where you're already able to use the DRS right before turn 14. It's going to be 13 for Lil Mikey with a 19.3. Pretty close to Havoc, Connor, and also Berserk in P11. We might want to go on board with Gunnar as well. The Ferrari driver went from Kick Sauber to Ferrari, and he's going to bring his teammate with him. Gunnar, possibly one of the better drivers in Division 1 last season, as he got a decent result, race in, race out. And let's see if he's going to be able to do the same here in Season 12. Guys, if you're still listening to the live stream, please let me know if the quality of the microphone is okay. I tried to do some setting changes again in the hopes to get some better results for you guys. I'm just going to quickly shut down Discord, as possibly the quality will be better then as well. And yeah, Gunnar coming around the last corner now. He's got a little bit of traffic up ahead. That's the Williams driver, Barry Bogarowski. And in my opinion, Gunnar should have left more space, because right now, are these two working together? Oh no, Gunnar is coming in. He's not going to set a time. And does that mean he's also using his Joker for tonight? Hackett currently in P16, hasn't set a time yet, but he is on one right now. Fast second sector, as the McLaren driver currently paired with Benny Buno, and this could be a very dangerous pair, as Benny Buno used to be really quick at the beginning of the last season, although he slacked a little bit going into the later stages of the season. And Hackett now coming across the line with a 1:8.5, a great time by the McLaren driver, but not quite there yet to be able to put himself anywhere near the top 3. You can really see that Miyagi has put in some practice. Last season he got a race win. I mean, not necessarily a race win, but like a good position, a bad position, a good position, a bad position. And let's see if that's going to be the case here this season as well. This is supposed to be a good result race, starting from pole position for now, but obviously Miyagi not one of the more consistent drivers here in Delta T Racing, so we'll have to be patient with the results of the actual race, as we've currently got a short qualifying, and afterwards we will be having a 50% race. Miyagi currently coming into the pits. A 1:8.1 is his very own time, as there's 3 other drivers with a 1:8.1 as well, so not too much room for error here in Brazil tonight, as Miyagi comes into the pits. Grella is one of the newer drivers here in Division 1 as well, a 1:8.2. He's really up with the top there, as he put himself in P5 right ahead of Brandon, the championship winner of last season. And this is not looking great for the Mercedes driver, mainly because obviously as a championship leader, a championship winner actually, he's a champion of season 11. You want to be up there with the top 3, and that's not where he is right now. He's about a tenth and a half slower than Miyagi. It's equal performance, so that could be a big gap. Well, not necessarily. In league racing it's not always a big gap, but if you're looking at esports, it's a really big gap, 1.5 tenths of a second. Looking at Barry Bogarowski, he has had some improvements as well, where he was about a second slower last season. Right now he's only about 6 tenths slower, so he's really done some practice here to be able to get along with the top 10 there. Grella is now coming across the line with a 1:7.8. He's going to be the first one to be in the 1.7s. And it's really crazy how much of a pace difference F121, F122 had compared to F124. Because whenever I was racing on Brazil, I was able to get 1.6s. If I'm not mistaken, my best time was a 1.6.6. If you don't believe me, you can watch F121 or F122 again. Let me just calculate. I think it's F121 where I managed to get a 1.6.6 in time trial. around Brazil. So you can really see the difference there. I'm pretty sure these guys are faster now than I was in F121. Although I was pretty fast though. You would underestimate. Don't underestimate me. You know. Magic Poop Cannon currently in Sector 2. Is he on a fast one? We might want to put the lap data on real quick to see whether he is improving in Sector 1, Sector 2, as he's coming around turn 9. A really tricky corner to nail, because you either take the curb on the inside on the entry of the corner, or you take the curb on the exit of the corner. And I personally would choose to go for the exit of the corner, because that means you have got a little more pace coming down that little straight going into turn 10, and then you can shoot it easy into the inside into turn 10. So Magic Poop Cannon, is he coming into the pit? Seems like he's going pretty slow. No, he's not going pretty slow. He's coming around the finish line, but it's only going to be a 110 point something, so that's about 2 seconds slower than his previous time. Rally had managed to get into the top 5. Stewart as well, as he was up there with the big guns as well last season. But I'm really surprised with Miyagi and Grelis here. Grelis is really the only driver with a 1.7.8 at the moment, as Hayward is up on his time as well. Is he going to come across the line? Seems like he is. It's going to be a 1.7.9, the second driver with a 1.7, as he's going to put himself in P2 for the moment. Stewart not up on his time, but he might be going for another lap. He has to, because he has no time to come back into the pits. And let's go on board with Stewart to do a track analysis. Into turn 1, into turn 2, and into turn 3. Difficult corner section to make an overtake in. You really have to shoot it down the inside in turn 1, then hope for an undercut. Switchback in turn 2 and turn 3. And then you've got the DRS coming down the straight here, heading into turn 4, touching the curb on the inside and the exit. Beautifully done there by Stewart. As Grell is retired from the session, he's already pretty fine with his very own time. And if I'm being honest, the Alpine team is looking dangerous. Stewart, who had some decent results last season, and then you can see the pace of Grelis here in this qualifying. This is looking promising for the Alpine team. Heading into turn 10, you want to clip that curb on the inside. Well, not necessarily. I've seen drivers be really fast without clipping the curb on the inside, as he's heading into turn 12 right now. Fast left-hander, touching the curb on the inside. A little bit of a rotation for Stewart there, but not too much. He has to carry more rotation, as he can go earlier onto the throttle then. As he's coming down the straight, he had the fastest second sector. Is it going to be an improvement? Seems like it is going to be an improvement by about 67 thousandths of a second, but it's only going to be good for a P3. Miyagi just has started his qualifying lap. A little lockup going into turn 1, into turn 2, touching the curb on the inside. Beautifully done. Watch out for the curb in turn 3, because you can easily lose the car when I'm taking that curb too aggressively. And here comes Reliot on pole position for now, 1.7.7. He beats Grelis' time by about 5 hundredths of a second, as Miyagi has got that Alpine driver ahead of him. And I was just about to say maybe Stewart has to go off the line there, because Miyagi could also see him as a kind of a bunny, you know, the bunny that runs ahead of everyone, that makes everyone go faster. That would be Stewart in this case, as Miyagi is coming into sector 3. Didn't have the fastest second sector, but let's see whether he's going to be improving in sector 3. Only 31 thousandths of a second slower, and he might be gaining some time here in sector 3. He needs about 300ths of a second to be able to get into the top 4. Hayward managed to get into the top 3 as well, but it's not going to be an improvement. Well, only by 8 thousandths of a second for Miyagi, but that's obviously not going to be enough. Next to not up in his time, let's go on board with Connor. Not up in his time either. Brandon, maybe he is up on his time, 2.10s heading into sector 3. That will possibly put him somewhere around the top 4. Coming around the last corner, DRS wide open for Brandon, as he still has plenty of ERS left in the tank. Coming down the line, it's only going to be a P4, but still right behind his teammate. Great time by Brandon. Connor, is he going to be up on his time? Doesn't seem like it. We might want to go on board with Benny Boone, who has plenty of pace here in Brazil, but he doesn't seem to be able to perform that actual pace on track at the moment. Coming down the line, he puts a 1.8.7, 99 thousandths of an improvement, only puts him in a P13. And that's going to be your qualifying here. Reliot just coming into the pit lane is going to be our pole time for tonight. I mean, he's not going to be our pole time. He's going to be our pole sitter with a 17.797, about 500 faster than Grelis. Hayward puts himself in P3, Brandon in P4, and Stewart in P5. It's already a great qualifying here in Brazil in the first race of Season 12, but let's go over the grid real quick. Reliot in the Ferrari is going to put himself on pole, Grelis in the Alpine in P2, and then of course Hayward, like discussed before, in the Mercedes in P3. Further, we've got Brandon, Stewart, Miyake, and Nexton, Connor, Hackett, and Magic Poop Cannon in P10. And further, we've got Barry Bogarowski, who, by the way, has a really decent time there. Romero in P12, Benny Buno in P13, Berserk in P14. And we've got Skipper, Lil Mikey, Nelboy, Gunner, Waza, and Honey Badger. 4 drivers who used their Joker for tonight. So we really have to look at those drivers to see whether they're going to be able to score a decent amount of points here tonight. As we're currently setting up all the right setups for our cars, I'm just gonna quickly listen to the live stream real quick to see whether the quality of the sound is good. Obviously, no boy, I can see your message, but I still need to know for myself just in case. You know, it's just a little bit of a. Oh no, it's not great. Oh Jesus, what is that? Alrighty, a quick test to see whatever this is. I don't think we have a race start straight away, so I'm just gonna listen to the microphone real quick to see whether it's okay or not. Alrighty, we are back at it again. I just did some things with my microphone as the drivers are currently entering Sector 3. We might just be able to get the tires on screen real quick. Reliot starting on the mediums, Grelis starting on the hards, and then we've got Hayward starting on the medium tires. Brandon and Stewart choosing a different strategy, starting on the soft tires, as also Skipper and Honey Badger all the way at the back of the grid, starting on the soft tires. Apart from that, we've only got 3 drivers on the hard tires, like discussed before. Grelis on the hards, Connor on the hards as well, and then we've got Gunnar in P18 starting on the hard tires as well. This is promising to be a very exciting race, especially with the different strategies we're seeing at the moment. As I said before, I wouldn't go for the soft tires, but apparently plenty of drivers decided to go with it. Maybe to prove me wrong. You never know, as everyone is currently putting themselves on the starting grid. Everyone is ready to rumble. The engines are roaring here in Brazil for the first race of the season. It's going to be Season 12 here in Brazil with Division 1 in Delta T Racing. The 5 red lights seem to be blinking. And we are ready to go. It's 5 red lights, and away we go here in Brazil. A good start from... Oh, and somebody goes off track already. That's a Williams driver who's letting everyone go through. Really, it seems to be going into turn 1 cleanly with both the Mercedes drivers gaining a position already. Brandon now up 2 positions as he goes from P4 to P2. Stewart got caught off guard there, but Grellis definitely had a how do you say that? I don't even know. A bad start. Dropping 3 positions all the way from P2 to P5 as there seems to be a little crash. A big battle here in the middle of the field. The Aston Martins finding their way around the Kick Sauber. As little Mikey now Waza making a move down the inside of Romero. As Honey Badger trying to find his way around the Kick Sauber as well. Finds the move around the outside. Beautifully done by Honey Badger. But obviously he has the advantage of the soft tires. Let's go all the way to the front of the pack again with Stewart gaining a position on his very own teammate. And let's see how these soft tires are going to be working out for Stewart. First needs to get past Hayward before he can get past Brandon. Brandon obviously having the soft tires. He's going to take a shot at Reliot for the lead of the race, and then hopefully he's going to be able to run away. Reliot now with the fastest lap so far, 1:14.6. As Reliot, oh, Stewart loses the car, but recovers. He's going to hold up his very own teammate. Oh, look at that, a big gap from Stewart to Hayward, so he really needs to watch out. Here comes Grellis. Is he going to shoot it down the inside? Doesn't seem like it. Nexton with the DRS isn't going to find a way around a Grellis either. And what really seems to be an issue here in Brazil is the fact that you have that little bump coming out of turn 4 there as well into turn 5. You've got that little bump where there's things shooting up in the air, and that could be really disturbing for some drivers. So they really need to be careful. They're sticking to the toe of somebody because you can easily get... oh, and Mr. Miyagi loses the car, but recovers, holds up Hackett though. And is Hackett going to try and make switchback work? No, he's going to wait for the DRS because Mr. Miyagi might not have the DRS himself. Let's have a quick look here. No, he recovers fine from that little mistake. He's up about 2/10 after that mistake. So let's see whether he's going to be able to make an overtake on Nexton. Gains a bit of time, although Nexton has the DRS as well. And Brandon now takes the lead of the race as well. Reliot and Brandon going side by side into turn 1. But the Mercedes driver takes the lead of the race anyway. Hayward is going to try and take a shot on the Ferrari driver. He's going to go down the inside. Is Reliot going to go for it? No, he backs out of it as well, as there wasn't too much of a gap down the inside there of Brandon. And Reliot finds himself in a really difficult position here because he's in the middle of both the Mercedes drivers, most likely 2 drivers who are looking to win this Grand Prix, win the Constructors, win the championship maybe. And this is something that really highlights Brandon as well. He's really consistent in strategies, in just consistent racing, and he's just great overall. And that shows because he's currently in the lead of the race as well. Mr. Miyagi, once again, not really showing some consistency as he already locked up the car, almost lost it into the grass. He recovered quite fine, but still lost the position. As we might want to go on board with Grellis here as well. Down the inside of his very own teammate he goes. And that wouldn't necessarily be a great idea because obviously Stewart is on the soft tires. Oh, look at that move from Mr. Miyagi around the outside now. Has the inside line in turn 2. Are they going to collide? Seems like it. They touch wheels, but no big drama there between the both of them. Let's see whether Hackett can make that overtake. No, Mr. Miyagi is going to go for it though. Around the outside he goes. DRS wide open. And they're clinching wheels apparently. Mr. Miyagi gets pushed wide as he loses that position again to Nexton. A bit of elbow work there from the Hungarian driver. So we might want to go on board with the top 3 again. They're currently running away from the rest of the group. A 1.5 second gap to Grellis right now, who is going to try and work together with his very own teammate. Although Nexton just needs to keep Mr. Miyagi behind him and then try to make an overtake on Stewart. It's not as easy as it seems here in Delta T Racing, as plenty of the guys are still really close to each other. We might want to take another guy into the spotlights. Magic Poop Cannon, for example, who's about 3/10 behind Benny Buno. Benny Buno, who did gain 3 positions during the start of the Grand Prix already. So he's up for a good race. As we might want to go on board with the drivers who have decided to go for a Joker tonight. Honey Badger, for example, currently 5 positions gained already, together with Waza as well. So both drivers really doing a great job trying to get within that top 10. Magic Poop Cannon now coming down the straight. Is he going to be able to make an overtake? Reliot and Brandon seem to be having a go at it. Let's go on board with the both of them there as Brandon now loses the position. Nexton gets his move past Stewart. So might want to go on board with the Mercedes drivers here as well. As Hayward is not going to try and find a way around Brandon, obviously. His main goal here in this race is try to keep Grelis behind him, because Grelis is on the hard tires. He's going to try and stretch those till the end of the race. Not necessarily till the end of the race, but till the end of the stint. And that's going to be a while, because I presume that the drivers on the hard tires are going to come into the pits around lap 20 to go onto the medium tires at the end of the race. Obviously, you could stretch those hard tires till around 23, 24, maybe even 25 or 26, and then go on to the soft tires till the end of the Grand Prix. Because obviously, these guys who are currently on the soft tires might be finishing the race on the medium tires. As Hayward is going to have a go at it. No, he backs out of it again. Mr. Miyagi switches positions with Stewart during the first corner there. I mean, right before the first corner, little Mikey is stuck behind his very own teammate Waza as well. As we might want to highlight the tires again. The drivers who did start on the soft tires, Honey Badger and Skipper, together with Stewart and Brandon, had a pretty decent race there. Only Skipper lost a couple of positions. As also Mr. Who was it again? Gunnar lost a lot of positions. He went from a decent position in qualifying. Well, no, he didn't qualify. No, I'm stupid. He qualified in P18. So he's going to be bumped up 2 positions so far. From P18 to P16. Nelboy and Romero are having a battle with each other at the moment. Romero, who was really quick last season, he was the Ferrari driver together with Zetterval. Although Romero now dropped 6 positions already, might have a broken front wing. We don't know that for sure. And Hayward is really up the tail of his very own teammate. Is he going to have a go at it this time around? Doesn't seem like it. Maybe Nexton on the Stewart. Oh, and did that seem like Stewart moved back to the racing line just in time, because Nexton wasn't able to get past Stewart anyway. It's Grelis, my apologies. I'm still getting used to these new teams. Hayward and Brandon now switching positions as Brandon lets him go through easily. As obviously you shouldn't be battling with each other too much if you're teammates in the first race of the season, obviously. Get now on the tail of Stewart. As Waza still stuck within P13 at the moment. Benny Buno and Stewart are now switching positions, and Stewart finding himself, no, it's Connor, finding himself in a difficult position. As I said before, you never want to be in a sandwich between teammates, mainly because it's dangerous. You're trying to make an overtake on the driver ahead of you, but you're also in danger of getting overtaken by the driver behind you. And that's not necessarily always the case, that it's dangerous, because especially with teammates, you're just going to try and for example, I'll give an example. Going into turn 4, it could be that Hackett is going for the outside line and Benny Buno decides to go for the inside line of Connor. That means that Connor will not be able to make an overtake on Benny Buno, but he will get overtaken by by Hackett. No, he's not going to be able to make an overtake on Hackett, while Hackett now has a beautiful defense on Connor there. But as I said, I mean, Hackett is not going to be able to get overtaken by Connor, but Benny Buno is able to make that overtake on Connor. So yeah, really interesting strategies there for the teams, as Nexton now trying to go around the outside of Grelis. Oh, and a little lockup there from the Red Bull driver. Does that open a gap for Mr. Miyagi? Doesn't seem like it. I'm just quickly going to take a sip of water. We might want to go on board with Hayward here, currently on the tail of Reliot. He has the DRS, he has the ERS, he goes down the inside. And is that going to be an overtake? Seems like it. Beautifully done there by Joe Hayward. Let's go on board with Brandon as he's now getting overtaken by the Red Bull driver. Nexton, is he going to have the DRS? Oh, this is a little DRS play. Both drivers apparently have DRS. coming down the straight. Here comes Brandon. No, he's getting overtaken by both Miyake and Nexton. Oh, and he almost loses the car. This is something that we didn't expect from a driver like Brandon. And now he's getting attacked from behind by Hackett as well. Onto the curb he goes. Oh no, Brandon loses another position as Hackett is now going to shoot through. That's the exact same thing I said before in turn 8, which you can easily do. Is he going to get overtaken by Benny Buno as well? Benny Buno has the inside line. Can he do the same like Hackett in turn 8? Seems like he does. A good exit might offer him an opportunity. Although Benny Buno loses the position again to the Mercedes driver. Goes back into the slipstream. And he's getting attacked from behind by Connor as well. So he needs to watch out. Though had a better exit coming out of turn 12. Coming down the straight right now goes Connor and Benny Buno. Both drivers having the DRS. Brandon doesn't have the DRS. This is going to be an opportunity for Benny Buno as Brandon comes into the pits from his soft tires. So the softs apparently last about 10 laps. I don't see him coming into the pits to go onto the medium tires, if I'm being honest, because those won't last that long. He goes onto the hard tires indeed. And he will most likely finish the race on those hard tires. Maybe a good fast undercut could work. Because then he's going to be up the grid whenever all the other drivers are coming into the pits. He's not necessarily going to be in the middle of the traffic, and that's really important. Although Brandon and Stewart are pretty close to each other, though, about 4 tenths in between the both of them. Stewart came into the pits a lap earlier, as there seems to be an issue with somebody in Sector 2. Yellow flags, but it's green flags already. Nellboy and Magic Poop Cannon are having a go at it. As it seems like Nellboy made that move and he keeps the position. Gunnar up 5 positions already, but Honey Badger is doing a great job. Waza is even doing a bigger job. Look at that. He's already in P9, gained 10 positions so far. And I'm going to be honest with you, you really have to make a quick guess about who is going to... I mean, which race is going to be most beneficial to... Oh, they're going 3 wide into turn 1. What an overtake opportunity for the V-car, but he loses the car, goes onto the grass and loses a position instead of gaining a position. But what an opportunity for Connor. If he just kept it within the lines, he would have been able to make up that position possibly, but it was really close there. As I'm quickly going to try and unplug my microphone, as apparently my microphone just said boom. And this should be better again. My apologies, lads. I'm just quickly going to listen to the live stream. Is anyone else looking to make an overtake? Maybe Waza on Benny Buno gained another position on Connor. And now another opportunity for Waza to go into the top 7. What a race from the Aston Martin so far. And he's up for some decent points. If I'm not mistaken, P7 gets 6 points. So that would be 12 points already for the Aston Martin. And what a guess by Waza so far. And it's not done yet. It's not done yet. He could even gain more positions. Honey Badger now coming into the pits. He is about 2.6 seconds behind Brandon, which is a good guess as well. He goes into the hard tires to finish off the race as well, as Barry Bokarovsky is on the tail of Benny Buno. Did Mr. Miyagi make a mistake? No, he's going side by side with the Red Bull. And who's going to come out ahead? Oh, and there goes Mr. Miyagi. Although he doesn't lose his front wing, which is a great thing. Because that means he shouldn't come into the pits, especially being on the medium tires. He can still go for another couple of laps. Barry Bogarovsky around the outside of Mr. Miyagi, and he's going to make up a position as well. This is looking great for both Barry Bogarovsky, but also for Waza, obviously. Let's have a quick look with Mr. Miyagi here, as he's not going to be happy with that. Maybe Stewart with an overtake on Burst. This name is too difficult for me. Down the inside in turn 12. That is something I've never seen before, but he does it anyway. Haha, Mr. Stewart, who does have a penalty though, so he needs to watch out. And Mr. Miyagi loses another position, another 2 positions, as Lil Mikey gets past the Greek driver as well. We might want to go on board with Brandon here, making that overtake on both Berserk and Skipper. Skipper now comes into the pits. I'm pretty sure Brandon is going to try and stick to the tail of Stewart, mainly because he has a penalty. So we might want to go on board with Barry Bogarowski, currently in P8. And this does seem like a difficult task for the Dutch driver. Benny Bogarowski has a lot of experience. Did I say Benny Bogarowski? That should be, you know what? That should be the next team next season. You know, Benny Bogarowski, that would be great. And you call, what should you call the B-Bay? B-Bay. Yeah, B-Bay. That would be B-Bay, you know. Here comes Grelis with a move on Elliott into turn 1. As he does leave enough room for Elliott to get past again. I think Grelis, because he's new, he's trying to understand the limits of racing here in Delta 2 Racing. He doesn't necessarily want to go for an aggressive move straight away in his first race. He just wants to keep it clean, and that's what I love to see as a commentator. But most likely the stewards love to see this as well. The sportsmanship like driving from Grelis, as Nexton now added himself to this little threesome, whatever you want to call it. Benny Buno in on the tail of Waza. And is he going to make it difficult for the Aston Martin driver? He should be able to, because Hackett is now running away. Benny Buno on the tail of Waza. He's within the DRS, and Waza doesn't have the DRS, so this opens up a great opportunity for the McLaren driver to make an overtake on the Aston Martin driver. Coming down the straight, they go. DRS wide open for Benny Buno. Is it going to be an opportunity? It does appear like Waza has a lot of straight line speed, but not enough to keep Benny Buno behind him. Here comes... Oh, Benny Buno is going to wait. He's going to wait. He should have made that overtake, because now Waza is catching up to Hackett. Oh, no. Oh, no. I understand why he did that. Now he has another opportunity to use the DRS coming down the straight, but he's not close enough. He lost a lot of time heading into Sector 1. And he's not going to be able to make an overtake. So look at that. Waza now just needs to gain about 3/10 on Hackett. Although he does lose about a 10 coming out of turn 4. So he just needs to gain a bit of pace there. Elliott and Gorilla still trying to find their ways around Hayward. But this is a fantastic job by Hayward, because the longer these guys are staying behind Hayward, the more time Brandon is going to gain. As Brandon is apparently having a heated battle with Stewart, although it shouldn't be too smart from Stewart to battle with the Mercedes driver, mainly because he has a penalty himself, so he just has to benefit from the fact that they're going to be gaining a lot of time because of their undercut, rather than battling with the Mercedes driver as well. Grelis now coming down the inside of Elliott. Is he going to be able to make it stick? Seems like it. And is he going to back out this time around? Oh, he sticks it down the inside. Beautifully done there by Grelis. And now has the opportunity to use the DRS and makes up an overtake. This move is going to stick. Beautiful, beautiful move from the Alpine driver. And up a position for Grelis. And this is unbelievable. Waza with another position gain. He's up into P5 at the moment. Just needs to gain some more time. And what happened to Hackett? Oh, he came into the pits. Never mind. Brandon and Stewart are having a heated battle all the way in P13 and P14 as well, as we might want to switch over to the both of them. Side by side they go, but Stewart holds up strong. Still about 20 more laps to go here in this Brazilian Grand Prix. And still plenty of racing to go as well. Plenty of drivers right behind each other. So this is promising to be a great race. Miyagi once again being one of the... I'm not going to say losers, but definitely lost a couple of positions. And this is where Brandon's strategy is going to work out. Because he came into the pits quite early. Because he went into the softs. Well, from the softs to the hard tires. But he's just going to gain so many positions once everyone comes into the pits. For example, Hackett and Miyagi both came into the pits already. But look at where Hackett is. He's 2.6 seconds behind Brandon. He was way closer to the Mercedes driver earlier this race, whenever he didn't come into the pits yet. Waza holds up strong again. Is Benny Bruno gonna gain the position using the same strategy he used before, or is he gonna make an overtake this time around coming down the straight? He backed out earlier. I think he could have gone for an inside move, but he decided not to. Let's see if he's gonna make a mistake this time around. He comes from P13. Oh, he's gonna go for a move. I can tell you for sure he's gonna go for a move. Look at that. Easily done by Benny Bruno. And he knows it from before. He's not going to be able to make an overtake coming out of turn 3. But maybe Waza will be able to benefit from this. Oh, a little switchback. Look at that. Benny Bruno made a mistake. I kind of missed that, but still, how did that happen? Look at that. Waza back into P4. And that's a total of 24 points already for the Aston Martin. Still has to come to the pits though. Let's see what tires he's on at the moment. Medium tires, and the guys on the medium tires might most likely come into the pits around now. Just you'll have to go onto the hard tires. I don't think the soft tires will work. We saw it before. Stewart, Brandon all came into the pits around lap 10 to go into the hard tires. So these guys will still have to do about 8 laps in order to go onto the soft tires, and I don't think that's possible. So we'll see some drivers come into the pits right now. Are we? I don't think so. Nobody comes into the pits. Look at that. Oh no, Next and Elliott are coming into the pits. Those are going to be the first drivers, as Waza is going to go for another one. Keeps the position. Benny Bruno loses the position again. And this is going to be an opportunity for the McLaren driver. Let's see. DTR is wide open. He's going to have a go at it this time around. DTR is wide open. Down the inside he goes. And is he going to make it stick? Seems like it. Pushes the Aston Martin a little bit wider. Puts the shoulders out. And is Waza going to have a go at it again? Doesn't seem like it. Yeah, he's so eager to finish in the top 3. It's not going to be very likely, as obviously you've got Brandon and Stewart still in a decent position. But then on the other hand, if these guys decide to go into the soft tires at the end of the Grand Prix, oh, look at that. Connor with an aggressive move down the inside. Doesn't touch wheels with Barry Bogarowski though, which is lovely to see. But let's say, oh, there goes an Aston Martin. That's a little Mikey being the lawnmower of today. Gunnar, is he going to make an overtake? Seems like it. Has a good exit coming out of turn 12. And Corellius gets his first 10-second time penalty here in Delta T Racing. Something he probably shouldn't have taken. As, damn, I just rolled over my cable. That wasn't supposed to happen. Oh, I'm stuck. A lot of guys coming into the pits right now, including Grelis, as obviously he got that 10-second time penalty. And he's going to bump back behind... Oh, it's going to be behind Brandon. That's... Ooh. I don't think it's the right strategy by Brandon and Stewart, if I'm being honest. I don't think it's the right strategy. I think Waza is currently in a good position. He is in P1, and probably something he's never seen before, because I can't remember him finishing a race in the top 10, in the top 3 last season. My water is empty. Shit. 16 more laps to go. Brandon making an overtake on Grelis now, as Grelis seems to be struggling on those cold tires. Now loses a position to Nexton as well, as all those drivers came into the pits already about a lap ago. Side by side coming out of turn 12. It's Nexton pulling on the longest end, as that's going to be a good move. But oh no, look at that. Grelis with the straight line speed. DTR is wide open as they're going side by side coming down straight. Who's going to make it out ahead? Seems like that will be Nexton. Beautifully done by the Red Bull driver, although he didn't have to do too much, just rely on the straight line speed, and that's about it. Little Mikey is in a very, very favorable position as well. Still has to come into the pits though, although I'm really wondering what Gunnar is going to do. He has to come into the pits to go onto the medium tires, if I'm being honest. Otherwise, we saw it with Brandon and Stewart. Their strategy is not making any sense. Because look at how many how many more laps they've done on those tires. 13 and 11 laps compared to 2 laps for Elliott, 2 laps for Nexton, and they're right behind them. It's just a strategy that didn't work. You should have gone from the mediums to the hards, or the hards to the mediums, like I said at the beginning of the Grand Prix. Although I think these guys are going from mediums to the softs, and that is an even bolder decision. It's not going to work, guys. You're losing so much time right now. Let's see how much time Brandon is gaining on these two. We might want to put somebody else in the spotlight. Maybe Elliott. They're about... Oh no, this is not going to work. They're about 9 seconds behind Waza. But let's say Waza comes into the pits. He's going to drop back all the way to P16. He will be on the soft tires though, but there's no way he's going to gain about 12 seconds on Elliott and Grelis and Nexton. There's no way. So I think the battle will be here. The battle will be here indeed, as we might want to have a quick highlight of the penalties. Stewart has got 10-second time penalty already together with Grelis. Then we've got Romero with a 3-second time penalty. Not sure how you can get a track warning penalty around Brazil, but I guess it is what it is. Waza and Barry are not coming into the pits. They're not going to go onto the hard tires, I can tell you that for sure. Otherwise you wouldn't have stayed on for, or when you stayed out for so long. Soft tires it is for Barry Bogorovsky and Waza. They're ending in terror, as they're currently in P13 and P14. Not a position they want to be in, as here comes Hackett down the inside of Nexton. Is that going to be overtake done? No, look at that. Nexton with a late break. And he makes that overtake on Hackett again around the outside. Benny Buno now with an overtake on the Greek driver. This is promising to be a great battle. Grelis with an aggressive move down the inside. Beautifully done, but the Ferrari keeps it down the inside. Who's going to make it out ahead? Seems like that's going to be Grelis, as he has the inside line coming into turn 10. Good exit by Elliott as he keeps the position. And what a move between these two. They both have really fresh tires, although I'm pretty sure Grelis is going to bump a couple of positions back due to that 10-second time penalty. Here comes Elliott. He makes an overtake on Grelis. I mean, he defends the position for Grelis and now makes an overtake on Brandon. And this is what I was talking about. You know, you've got the inside line there and you're kind of boxing out the other driver around the outside. It's Elliott now on the tail of Stewart. Is he going to be able to make an overtake? The air is wide open. Oh, and there comes Brandon. Look at that overtake from Brandon. Beautifully done. Elliott's still side by side with Stewart. Backs out of it. Tried to make a switchback work, but that doesn't work in turn 4. Brandon now back into the top 3. Even on older tires, he is still a great driver. Gunnar and Hayward are currently running away with Brandon in the top 3. Elliott needs to find his way around Stewart ASAP, because otherwise he's just going to lose more time. He's going to gain that position anyway because of the 10-second time penalty, but obviously he's losing some valuable time to Brandon and Hayward at the moment. Let's go on board with Honey Badger as he finds his way around Grelis. Or is it the other way around? Grelis finding his way around Honey Badger. Gunnar is still having to come into the pits. We kind of missed that. So it's Hayward now in the middle of nowhere with a Magic Poop Cannon getting attacked from behind by Waza. Look at that. Waza on the soft tires. Beautifully done. His next target will be Honey Badger. Watch out, Waza. Don't go into the back of Honey Badger because he will not be happy with that. Honey Badger was aiming for a P6, P7 tonight. And if I'm being honest, I think it will be possible. I think it might be possible. Oh, Bossack braking a little bit too early, going onto the curb a little bit too aggressively. And the stars are shining here in Brazil, as obviously you've got both the Mercedes drivers peaking their performance again. Elliott, currently in P3. He's just somewhere he wants to be, but also doesn't necessarily want to be, because, I mean, even I'm sick of seeing the Mercedes drivers being in the top 2 every race. It's supposed to be a great, exciting race, and then you see this again. I mean, obviously it's going to be a battle for P2 now, but also a battle for the podium between Elliott and Nexton. But Hayward is just shot up in the air at the moment. 5 seconds to Brandon. He just needs to make a mistake in order for these other guys to be able to get back to the Mercedes driver. Benny Buno making an overtake on Miyake, as that will be P7 for the McLaren drivers. We might want to have a quick look who still has to come into the pits. Everyone has made a one-stopper work for them. The driver being on the older tire at the moment is Brandon. 16-lap-old hard tires is most likely the oldest tire we're going to be seeing tonight. No, it's Stewart. 18 laps of hard tires. If he finishes the race on those hard tires, it's going to be 28 laps of hards, which is... I wouldn't have gone with it myself. So, yeah, that's about all I can say about it. Magic Poop Cannon and Honey Badger are having a heated battle with each other as well. Magic Poop Cannon, the only American driver among us, if I'm not mistaken. He is aiming for a top 10 position here tonight in Delta T Racing. Elliott and Brandon are switching positions at the moment. Brandon couldn't take the advantage of using the DRS going down the straight, but he might be able to have a good exit. Goes onto the grass though. It seems like Elliott... Oh, and they collide! Oh, no! Oh, Nexton is out of the race. So is Brandon. No, Brandon's still in the race, but he has a broken front wing. Is this going to be a safety car? Virtual safety car has been deployed. The Red Bull is out of the race, and it's a red flag. Red flag situation. Everyone back to their starting positions. I mean, not necessarily starting positions, but the position they were in when the red flag had been called out. Everyone will be able to change their tires, so we most likely will be seeing plenty of drivers on the soft tires, unless you use the soft tires to start this Grand Prix with. Then you won't be able to go into the soft tires if you used all your soft tires during the qualifying. So this is something that the drivers will have to think about. If I'm not mistaken, there is about 10 more laps of racing, so the soft tires are going to be decorating at the end of the stint. So it might be interesting for the hard soft tire runners to go onto the medium tires, and that is exactly what Stewart is doing here. Brandon is out of the race as he is currently in P9 as we're going underway again, and it wasn't 10 laps, it was 7 laps with Hayward still in the lead of the race, but he's now lost about 5 seconds to Elliott with that red flag, so he's not going to be happy with that. As everyone has decided to go onto the new tires. Benny Buno now trying to make an overtake on Stewart, and he's up for a top 3 positions with that 10-second time penalty off Stewart and Grelis. There's no real danger. Waza currently in P7 decided to go onto a new set of soft tires as well. Gunnar in P11 as he's struggling. He's struggling with Brandon behind him. Brandon, who obviously didn't have another set of soft tires, he decided to start the race on the soft tires, so that is quite disappointing for the Mercedes driver. Nexton has left the session. He just got caught up in a difficult situation as Barry Bogorovsky lost many positions. Unsure what happened there to the Dutch driver, but I guess it is what it is. Benny Buno now trying to make an overtake on Stewart. Is he going to have a go at it? Around the outside he goes. DRS has been enabled, so he will be able to use the DRS coming out of turn 3. As there is no real danger from behind either. As I said before, Grelis with that 10-second time penalty. DRS wide open now for Benny Buno. Magic Poop Cannon has left the session. He was in P10. As there is still about 7 more laps of racing to go. As he might need an invite back into the lobby. Magic Poop Cannon, his AI is still racing. I'm just going to shoot him a quick message asking if he needs an invite. The drivers in the top 10 are still unsure what position they're going to be in. As Brandon finds his way around Magic Poop Cannon. Now little Mikey as well. Magic Poop Cannon, his car is currently in AI mode. So you might want to go back on board with Benny Buno. Oh, shoot me an EA friend request, Magic Poop Cannon. It's VB Thomas double S. I'm not sure if I have you as a friend. No, I don't have you as a friend, so please add me. It's VB Thomas. Wait, I'll put it in the Discord chat. The top three, the top two still having a heated battle. We're heading into lap 31 out of the 36. And really it is still unsure whether he can grab this race win. It depends on whether Hayward is going to make a mistake. And as things are looking like right now, it doesn't seem like it. DRS wide open for Williot, most likely. But will it be an overtaking opportunity? Good exit coming out of the last corner. Oh, and there's the yellow flag. Magic Poop Cannon has crashed out of the session. Although he hasn't joined the lobby again. So is that going to be his AI car, which has caused an incident? Grell is making an overtake on Benny Buno as well. Oh, shoots a little bit. Overshoots a little bit into that corner. Ah, here we go. Friend request accepted. That's going to be Magic Poop Cannon. And then I'm having to wait a little bit because obviously I cannot send an invite straight away. Because you will not pop up in my friend list for some reason. I don't know why, but it is what it is. And now I will be able to send you an invite. Where are you? There are you. There we go. Heading into lap 33 out of the 36. It's been a very long race with plenty of battles and a little crash between Nexton and Brandon. Brandon, who's still in P12, but won't be scoring a single point. Mainly due to that crash between himself and Nexton. Here comes Reliot. Around the outside it goes. Almost lost car though. As both the McLaren drivers are having a battle with each other as well. Benny Buno. Oh, look at that! It's Hackett going onto the grass. He touched the brakes on the grass. And that's definitely something you don't want to do as a racing driver. Oh man, he just lost the car. Almost took out his teammate as well. Reliot now up into the lead of the race. Stewart and Grellis having a battle with each other as well. As obviously both drivers having a penalty. So it will just be a battle for top 10 maybe? I don't even know if it's going to be top 10. I don't think so. I think it's going to be further down the line. No, it's probably going to be P11 and P12 for both of them. But the biggest battle is at the front of the pack. Although the biggest battle could be between Waza and Benny Buno as well. Look at how many positions Waza has gained. 13 positions. He came from P19, currently in P6. And that's going to be a total of 18 points. No, 16 points. As he will be scoring 8 points for P6. But his points are kind of double. Hayward and Reliot are now switching positions again. Heading into lap 34 out of the 36. And now you've got to think about the strategic part of the race. The thing is, if you want to wait until lap 36 to make that overtake, you're going to get under attack from behind by Stewart, who's not necessarily looking to win this Grand Prix due to that penalty, but he just want to be a disturber at this point. Oh yeah, look at this. Stewart down the inside. This is something that I could get angry about as a racing driver. For example, being Reliot, Stewart doesn't necessarily have any... He doesn't have anything to do with this battle between Reliot and Hayward, but he still decides to have a go at it. And it's just something that infuriates me as a driver. Not necessarily as a commentator, because it makes it spicy. But it's just a little bit annoying, you know? You've got that 10-second time penalty. You have nothing to look for here in this battle, but he's going to have a go at it anyway. Around the outside he goes. And is he going to back out of it? Oh, they're touching wheels. Oh, he almost did a hack it there. Really? Oh, yep. P1 has been decided. Hayward is going to win this Grand Prix due to Reliant getting a 3-second time penalty. Stewart and Grellis both having a 10-second time penalty aren't going to be forming a dangerous situation for Hayward. And then it could be that Mr. Miyagi is going to win, not necessarily win, but get onto the podium. Or is it going to be Waza? It might be Waza. It might be Waza. Waza just needs to get past Mr. Miyagi and he gets onto the podium. 30 full points for Mr. Miyagi if he gets into the top 3. He just needs to benefit from the DRS. Although Mr. Miyagi is really on the tail of Benny Buno, so a good exit there by Waza. 12 positions gained so far. Honey Badger could be aiming for a podium position here as well. We still have to wait for the penalties because apparently some drivers are going to get reported for that crash between Nexton and Brandon. And look at how much time Honey Badger lost there. This is definitely something you don't want to see. Benny Buno. Oh, Benny Buno overshoots the corner, goes into the grass. And now collides with... Oh, no. Oh, no. Waza, he's just a little impatient there. Look at that. Oh, no. What is happening here? Benny Buno just gets forced off track by Waza completely. They now touch wheels. What is happening between these two? Oh, my days. Benny Buno must be furious about that. He just got pushed wide 3 times. And Waza really wants to get that podium, but at this rate, he might not be within 3 seconds of Reliant. So is Reliant still going to run away? Let's have a quick look between Reliant and Hayward. Maybe Reliant can force Hayward off track and cause him to get 3 seconds. Although it appears to be very unlikely. Stewart and Grellis are going to lose a lot of positions because of those 10-second time penalties. Oh no! Reliant made a mistake, so it's going to be a podium position for Waza. Well, pre-penalties though, because we might be seeing a penalty because of those incidents between Waza and Benny Buno. Hayward gets the race win. Mr. Miyagi gets a respectful P2. And Waza currently on the podium in P3. Further, we've got Benny Buno, Honey Badger, Reliant, Hackett, Gunnar, Brandon, Lil Mikey, Grillies, Barry Bogorowski, Stewart, Connor, Romero, Skipper, Berserk, and then, of course, Magic Boot Cannon, who didn't manage to get into the lobby on time to defend his very own position. He's going to be finishing off in P18. Oh, apparently he's going to win the Grand Prix. Way, Magic Boot Cannon. No, that's a joke, guys. It's still Joe Hayward who managed to win this Grand Prix. Please ignore this. Magic Boot Cannon did not win the Grand Prix. It's a glitch of the game. Driver of the day is Waza, who managed to get onto the podium after a interesting battle with the McLaren driver Benny Buno. Still to be decided what the penalty will be on that, or what the verdict will be. These are not the right... Well, we'll think of P2 being P1. So P1 goes to Hayward with a great race. He had a good, consistent race, and he didn't panic after that red flag. Mr. Miyagi made a mistake early in the race, but managed to recover, and also a little bit lucky with those 10-second time penalties for both the Alpine drivers. Waza, a little aggressive race, but he still managed to get into the top 3. Great race coming from P19. Benny Buno, a little unlucky after that battle with Waza. Wasn't necessarily shining this race, but he managed to get into the top 5 anyway. Great race from him. And then Honey Badger, who went from P20 to P5. A great race from him as well. He's going to be scoring 20 points on the board. Further, we've got Reliant, Hackett, Gunnar, Brandon, Lil Mikey, Grellis, Barry, Stewart, Connor, Romero, Skipper, Berserk, Magic Poop Cannon, and Nellboy, who's going to score the fastest lap point as well with a 19.0. And then we've got Nexton all the way at the back of the grid. Guys, I hope you liked this live stream. If you did, make sure to like the video, as that will help the algorithm for Delta T Racing. All I can say to you is thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys next week, most likely. This was 3B Thomas as your commentator. Peace out. Bye-bye.